Aha. Here I am again, starting the same way I always do. Sitting here in the middle of the night reading my book, the Holy Bible, the Word of God, talking to myself. And I'm hoping somebody's going to be listening to this and is able to benefit from it. I'm in the book of 2 Kings in the Old Testament again. I've read this before. I've read it aloud. And I think I was in this section before, and it was recorded. However, tonight, I feel I should do it again. Why? I don't know. Every once in a while, something comes at me and says, this is what you got to do. Now, you have to keep in mind that I'm entering right into the middle of a story. There's a lot of stuff that happened before what I'm reading right here, which led up to this. Now, what you're going to hear, and I'm talking to myself, giving my own opinions to myself, but everybody can benefit from it, even the evil people. This is recorded so the people who live righteously, right way of living, will have the proper fear of God. Not afraid, but a respectful fear of what He is capable of doing. If you obey His commandments and understand His statutes, and maybe we should come up with a definition of the word statute sometime. He records this stuff so you can understand and have enough inclination or enough drive to change your life and not do what the evil people do. What's happening in America today is 100% evil from a certain group of people. I call them demon craps. All right? Everybody that's against good is growing in America. They want to throw out the Word of God. You can't preach it. You can't read it in schools. You can't write it anywhere. They burn the flag. And who leads stuff like that? The demon craps, all the evil-filled people in America, like the mayor of New York, Lurch. He's just one of many. I could sit here and say a whole bunch of names, but I don't need to do that. If you're not on the side of God, you lose. I'm going to read 2 Kings, and I'm going to begin in chapter 3 and verse 13. Now remember, I'm entering right into the middle of a story, and this is what's going on. God will show you His power and the mistake you would make if you do not obey the commandments of God. God says, my commandments are not grievous. If you obey my commandments, it's not to your detriment, it's for blessings for you. All the good stuff that you need, you receive from God. Let me prove it right now. And Elisha is the prophet who took over after Elijah went up into heaven on the chariot. He didn't die. He went up. Not only did Elisha see it and receive a double portion of what Elijah had, all of the power that was given to Elijah by God fell to Elisha, and he's doing even greater things, if that's even possible. Not only did Elisha see what happened to Elijah, but so many people in the land knew what was coming on, especially the many prophets that there were during them days. And there were a lot of them. And they all saw. Even the evil people saw and knew what it was. And that was proven by what happened to a bunch of kids who were teasing Elisha afterwards. A lot of them were killed and mauled by a couple of bears. Hey, like I said, I'm entering right into the middle of a story. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about what happened before. But this is Elisha, and now it's his time to be the prophet, the head prophet. He wasn't a priest, he was a prophet. And Elisha said unto the king of Israel, What have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophets of thy father, and to the prophets of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto him, Nay, for the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. Like I said, I'm entering right into the middle of a story, and I'm not going to talk about what I just read there. And Elisha said, As the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, surely, were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look toward thee, nor see thee. In other words, he wouldn't even come into his presence and give him any advice. But he had respect for the king of Israel. Now, we don't 100% know right here at this moment whether that king was a good one or a bad one. You'd have to read the stuff before to find out what he did. And after to find out what he's going to do. I know because I already read it. But there's folks listening to this who have not. That's why I'm doing it. Elisha says to the king, Now bring me a minstrel. And it came to pass, when the minstrel played, that the hand of the Lord came upon him. Why did Elisha ask for someone to play music? I don't know, but this is what happened when he did. He made a joyous moment, and God was speaking to Elisha. And he said, Thus saith the Lord, make this valley full of ditches. They were having a water problem. For thus saith the Lord, Ye shall not see wind, neither shall ye see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water, that ye may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beasts. You're not even going to see it happen, yet it's there. All of a sudden, it's full of water. And this is but a light thing in the sight of the Lord. He will deliver the Moabites also into your hand. In other words, this is easy for God. And ye shall smite every fenced city and every choice city, and shall fell every good tree, and stop all wells of water, and mar every good piece of land with stones. And it came to pass in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, that behold, there came water by the way of Edom, and the country was filled with water. God told Elisha what he was going to do. Elisha told the king, and now I'm telling you, because he told me. We're retelling the same story. God still is. He still does stuff like this. You want him to do something for you in your life? Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you right here. Follow God's commandments, and it will happen for you. How do I know this? Because it happened for me. Now, I'm not a Superman here. I'm just a regular guy. I still sin. I still got some of the junkiest stuff that's in my mind that I've fed myself for years. And if I dwell on it, I can bring it to my remembrance. God says, don't do that. So most of the time, I don't do that. I'm living a good life. I'm getting older. I feel my body deteriorating some, but it's still going forward. That's why I'm sharing this stuff with other people. It's not going to change America. Now, I know that America could be changed, but the commandments that God gives, or the suggestions, these people are not going to follow. Why? Because the Supreme Court says, hey, we make it legal for you to kill your babies before they are born. If good people have babies and teach them babies as children about God, then the evil gets pushed back. So they want you to kill your kids. So when you get old and die, the only people left in America are the illegal immigrants that are allowed to come in, who bring their own gods with them. Evil spirits. That's how they're taking over America. I could sit here and go on and on about this, but maybe I will in a couple of minutes. But let me get back into what I'm reading here in the book. Don't kill your babies. Teach them the Word of God. That's His commandment. Don't ignore it, because He's going to take you down. That's not me saying that. That's what I get from this book here. Let's read some more. And when all the Moabites heard that the kings were come up to fight against them, see, everybody in the land knows what's going on. They gathered all that were able to put on armor, and upward, and stood in the border. And they rose up early in the morning, and the sun shone upon the water. And the Moabites saw the water on the other side as red as blood. That's what happened when the sun shined on all these ditches that the other guys dug, and they were all full of water. And it looked like blood to them from where they were at. And they said, "This is blood. The kings are surely slain, and they have smitten one another. Now, therefore, Moab, to the spoil." Now they were going to go ransack the land. That's not what happened. And when they came to the camp of Israel, the Israelites rose up and smote the Moabites, so that they fled before them. But they went forward, smiting the Moabites, even in their country, just like Elisha said, you're going to take their cities. And here it is happening. And they beat down the cities, and on every good piece of land cast every man his stone. I don't know why they did that, but that's what's written here. And filled it. And they stopped up all the wells of water and felled all the good trees. Only in Kirharaseth left they the stones thereof. Howbeit, the slingers went about it and smote it. I'm not going to try to explain that stuff. And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was so sore for him, he took with him 700 men that drew swords to break through even unto the king of Edom. But they could not. They could not prevail against God. God was for these people, the Israelites. And here's what that king did. He took his eldest son that should have reigned in his stead and offered him for a burnt offering upon the wall. He sacrificed his kid. Isn't that proof of evil? Satan? That's what's happening in America today. And most of you don't even know it. You've offered your unborn child as a sacrifice to Satan. And you don't realize it. Millions of kids have been killed. And you don't know what you're doing. Listen to me. I'm telling you. And there was great indignation against Israel. And they departed from him and returned to their own land. Listen, that's not going to happen in America today, unfortunately. The hedge is not around our country at this time. However, there is a chance. If just the true believers call upon God and ask Him to strengthen Donald Trump and the good people who are left, there might be a chance for America. I gotta knock this off for a minute, and I'll be right back.